downgraded. You can't even get the attendees anymore. So let me bring up to the next topic I wanted to talk to you about, because you brought it up, I think this week, and you brought it up to me, was this Tiger Woods lawsuit. And there's actually 2 lawsuits. So I went in because I'm a lawyer, and I found them against this woman, Erica Herman, and this Jupiter Island Irrevocable Homestead Trust. Don't get it twisted. That is Tiger Woods Trust. That is Tiger Woods Home Trust. So when you actually dig into the documents and you search into those, this is their response. But let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So essentially, the 2 of them, they had lived together for a period of time, unmarried as far as I understand, but they've been living together, which, by the way, is something that you should almost never do, because almost every state in one way or another accepts some form of palimony, right? Which is the ability to enter a contractual living agreement with someone, even someone you're not married, and agreeing to pay for some of their living expenses. Right. Even this can happen in, it doesn't have to be in writing. It can happen orally sometimes in certain states. So they were living together, and she gets kicked out, of this house. So now she's suing him for an inordinate amount of money. Right. And because of a new law, because of the Speak Out law, which actually allows you to get rid of NDAs and arbitration clauses if there's an allegation of sexual harassment or sexual abuse, she threw out here in her latest amended complaint something. So she took her original complaint and changed it, right? And added here that the required arbitration, because they're required to arbitrate under the NDA, is unenforceable because of essentially the Speak Out law, the federal ending forced arbitration of sexual assault and sexual harassment act of 2021. So I just wanted to get your initial thoughts on this. It's very interesting because it kind of adds a kink. Now, I will say legally, I do think they lose, because if you look at their response motion here, you can see that the response motion actually has the correct law here, which says pretty much you need to have an actual sexual assault dispute, which means you got to actually file a claim. And in this, they clearly did not file a claim. They didn't file a criminal complaint for sexual harassment, sexual abuse, and they actually ticked the box on their civil cover sheet that they were not filing for sexual abuse or sexual harassment. So it seems like an afterthought. But I wanted to get your macro thought on this, right? Because I'm a lawyer, I can get into the micro. I wanted you to look at this from a macro standpoint and what you thought about this case.
Guys, you can get sued now. Now, it may not stick in law, but you can get sued for dating a girl. All right, that's what it's. And my main take on this is just a headache not worth it. And I would implore women in the West, in this particular case, the United States, to look at this and start policing your own, because this is not worth it. You want to know what sends, you all want wealthy, high income earning men. What do you think wealthy, high income earning men have been talking about for the past week and a half, 2 weeks? This is not acceptable. I'm not talking about legally or not. Just this sounds like such a headache. And do you want to be dragged into court? Now Tiger has to go get some lawyers. He has a trust. This is a trust. You know, he had an NDA. He had all these agreements. He's still being dragged to court. Like,
there's no, I mean, here's the thing, Happy. Like, people think, oh, I can get a prenup. I can get these agreements. I can do you can't really get out. There's going to be a way out of those things. And particularly the problem is for the bad faith arguments. Because look, if someone has a good faith argument, there's always been a path to penetrate these things, right? If you're able to prove that sort of claim, for example, if you're able to prove that somebody was a criminal, a felon, a murderer, right? There's always going to be a way to make these things stick, right? The judges are going to say it's against public policy to enforce a felon's, agreement, right? The Bernie Madoffs of the world to enforce those sort of agreements, or the Epsteins, right? Those people are always going to be taken care of. But the problem is for regular, ordinary people is we have to deal with false claims. And they can just say, look, at the end of the day, all this shit I signed for you, all this stuff I agreed to doesn't really matter, because I can just say that you did a naughty thing to me, and that's going to become the known out. And I'm sorry, but every lawyer, especially these greasy moralist lawyers, which is why I'm the furthest thing from a lawyer I can be today, they're going to put it in the complaint. Because what lawyers do is they throw spaghetti at the wall and they see what sticks. And that's going to stick. They're going to see it's going to work, and they're just going to keep using it because it works.
And that's the problem facing a lot of guys here today is the law doesn't mean anything. It doesn't preclude you or prevent you from getting sued. You can get sued for anything. And so now it's kind of incumbent upon us as a civilized society and a little bit of honor and integrity where it's like, okay, this gal should know, assuming, you know, Tiger didn't do anything and blah, blah, blah. She should know, like, okay, I should have enough shame to not bring a $30 million lawsuit against this guy, but they don't. And now it's just looking at it. Is this girl representative of all women? No, of course not. But rich guys now have, okay, the pot's gotten a little hotter now, and I'm the, you know, the frog in this pot. Okay, there's added risk. This might set precedents now. And frankly, who wants to dick around with this? Like, honest to God. And it's not that, well, most girls aren't like that. Yeah, but one is.
But
she's not being stopped.
It's just a law. It's just a law of numbers, right? Like eventually you're going to get to that number. And I think in the US, it's made, you know, look, and a lot of women and men are happy to not get married anymore, to say, hey, I don't want to get married. I just want to live with you. But, you know, that is a problem too. And that's what I've been saying for a while is, look, if you're living with somebody, they're living with you full time in the United States, right? You're going to have you can have severe problems in multiple aspects of your life, from, you know, being sued for palimony to, you know, let's say red flag laws, which are laws that are used. I don't know if you know about red flag laws, but if your girlfriend says, hey, I don't feel safe around him, they can take all of your guns. Your 2A amendment right is completely stripped, and the judge has no, there's nothing requiring that judge to ever give you your guns back, ever. There's no time limit on that. They can take
so now
the rest of your life.
So now it has become an even riskier proposition to interact with women in a romantic capacity. That I think that's putting it down to the simplest part is one sex now who since time immemorial has been programmed to pursue the other sex, and we get together, we have children, and that's society. That simple, ages long relationship is just now a little bit more risky. And soon, and I've said this before, you can't make a shit test illegal to pass. If women are going to make it illegal or cost prohibitive or life destroying or financially destroying to interact with them on any romantic capacity, well, don't be surprised when guys are like, oh, you know, I'm a passport bro, or nah, I'm not going to know, you can't move in. And, you know, just because you're threatening their livelihood. And I don't know if you've ever seen Maslow's hierarchy of need. Livelihood comes before love and sex because you need to eat.
It's the baseline, right? If your security is not there. And I think as a guy, we don't think about that because we kind of just go automatically to, even if we're zeroed out, even if we're like bums on the street, we're like, we'll figure it out. We'll make more money. We'll bounce back. But that's not how the
biology horny or blinded by it. Yeah. You know, like, oh, she's got big tits. That's why I came inside her. Like, okay, well, now you're in child custody court. So
yeah. I mean, that is what it is. Unilink says, can we all donate our micro FU funds for the Legal Mindset Mega FU money? Yeah, absolutely. Sure. My FU fund is doing all right. And frankly, I do want to say that, you know, I have my new channel here, which is for those guys who do want to come to Asia. I just started this a little while ago, Go East, but I do plan on holding some events here. So that is one thing that's in the future. Is, you know, I will be putting together stuff here in Tokyo, Seoul, Bangkok, looking at a couple of other cities for folks who want to come out and check it out. So that will be happening. And the Legal Mindset FU Fund is definitely going to be helping some other folks out over here. Cynic in Chief says, Nick Rekieta got sued by a certified psycho. Yes, he did. But it wasn't a woman. It was a psycho. And I will say, look, the one thing is we give, you know, people say, oh, you give women a lot of shit, but actually the funny thing is these laws, Cappy, were enacted by men. They're acted by male politicians. They're enabled by their male allies. So to me, it was those guys' fault for enabling those things in the first place.
Right. And let's also be clear, men can invoke these laws as well. Like if they say, "Oh, I was sexually assaulted," and file, you know, let's say you have
you can do that. There's no reason. There's no reason why you can't, right? And in fact, we saw that happen with the guys at Black Rifle Coffee Company. They actually just had a lawsuit where one of them said that the CEO and one of the founders wanted to have male rear entry sexual relations with him in a private office. You know. No stopping there.
Right, but it's going to go both ways. It's going to skew one way because of the disproportionate sex drives, but it's just another, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It just gives you less trust and faith in society, and now we can't have nice things. That's basically what it boils, and it's exhausting and tiring to see this happen.
Yeah. Andrew, can you help me get Cappy on Ricada stream with Drexel? It'll be a great stream. Well, I have Aaron now, and I, you know, it's all about getting that first Twitter interaction, because otherwise it goes in that other folder. So I can talk with Aaron about other collaborations in the future.
Nick and I've tweeted directly with Nick. He's from Minnesota, actually, but he was busy last time. But if you want to remind him I exist, that'd be great.
I'll try to get it together, because I think there could be some good collaborations there. Could that be definitely a good one? I do a bi-regular. You know, it's funny. I have my legal content, but I do a bi-weekly stream called Pimpcast. We literally just talk about men's issues and random stuff going on. And just, you know, that one is one of my most popular segments ever. But it has to be privated. I have to make it members only, because it gets reported in mass.
Oh yeah.
So, you don't see it on my channel. People are like, where is this? It's private. It's members only, or on Rumble, because Rumble won't censor me. Right. So it's
again why we can't have nice things.
Yes, we can't talk about basic facts, because that hurts too many people's feelings. So in terms of the dating relationships, like, where do you see things going, especially now with AI, right? Because that's the one thing I think everybody's freaking out about. Do you see us having our, you know, our dolls and our robot waifus? I mean, is that 20 years from now?
No, I don't think. I think no. I know there is.
Have you seen the movie Her?
No, I haven't. But I tune into the Turd Flinging Monkey show regularly. So even though I disagree with TFM about it, he is probably the foremost expert on sex dolls. I think you have to have a very unique mindset to have a sex doll. I think it would be in the minority. I think a lot of men are going to kind of current trends just